Hope you all have a great class.
1 second. I just want to put, got it. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Happy Friday. I am so glad you're here with me. Today, we are making these sort of boho leather feather earrings with the bead landing crystals right on top and these two chains with the little crystal rondelles hanging down. They're super cool. You can do them in any color combination you want. I'm using blues because blues, I just love the way blues looks, but you could use purples, reds, sunset colors. They'll look fantastic. Whatever colors you choose. All right. Now, is there anything I have to do to make sure this goes down? Can everybody see this properly? Danielle, I can see you. So, okay.
Whenever you're ready, I will flip it down. You ready to go to the mat?
I'm ready to go to the mat. Is everybody ready to start? All right. Awesome. Okay. So I am using leather for this today, but you could use vinyl if you wanted to, or something that doesn't fray. But I kind of love the leather because it's sturdy and it lasts a long time and it looks wonderful. So we are going to trace out our feather pattern, which of course I lost, but I have another one. I've cut out a couple of these already. So take your feather pattern and we're going to go around it. And I'm going to use a ballpoint pen to do this so that I can see it on this leather. You can use any color of leather you want because we're painting over the top of it. So here we are. We're just tracing around these this feather pattern. And if you didn't print out the feather pattern, you can make it, it's a pretty simple pattern. You can see it right there. All right, there we go. We've traced this on the leather. And now we're going to cut it out. Now I have a little something that I like to adhere to when I'm making a project. None of my projects are perfect. And I don't ever want them to be. So if your feather isn't perfect, don't worry about it. It's going to look great. I promise. I always make some sort of, a little mistake or something. And very, very often they're happy mistakes. So they always turn out wonderfully in the end. Okay, so here we go. We have our feathers cut out. Not perfect, but it's okay because we're going to be cutting the barbs and you'll see that it's going to look just fine. Now, what I've done is I've left a little hump here on the top, and that's where we're going to connect the earring wires and the chains. And so we're going to put a little bit of a hole in there in a little bit. But first, we're going to go ahead and paint these with our leather paints. Now, I like to paint with a cosmetic sponge, and you can get these pretty inexpensively. And I use these for a long time, and they're great for, all kinds of things, but super, super fun for painting leather and blending colors. So I'm using a white, a dark blue, and sort of a robin's egg blue for this. There we go. And we're going to start off with the robin's egg blue in the center of the feather. You can see how easily that goes on. And the great thing about leather paints is that they're really opaque. So they have a nice coverage. And if you're using a little bit of a lighter color leather, it'll cover even better. So we're just painting the center of the feather here. I've actually never taught a live class before, so, or maybe once. I can't quite remember. If I did, it was a very, very long time ago, and I forgot how quiet it is. So I kind of feel like I'm just talking to myself. Okay, now while the paint is still damp in the center here, we're going to take this dark blue and we're going to just kind of blend it on the tip of the feather. See what I'm doing there? As you can see, it's just right down there on the front, on the tip of the, we're going to blend it into the blue and just keep dabbing until you get it the way you want it. And if you don't like it, add more paint. Not a big deal. You know, I'm going to put a little bit of dark blue around the edges too. Now, since we're cutting the barbs, the paint doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to be cutting the barbs like we have on a feather, and it'll all separate just a little bit. Okay. We've got the dark blue down at the bottom. And then finally, I'm going to take the white for the very, very top. And I'm going to blend it into this robin's egg blue in the center. And this on a real feather would be the little fluffy feathers at the very, very end.
Hey, Mark, it's Carmi.
Hi, Carmi.
I didn't want to leave you alone. From the chat bar, they would like you to know the gang's all here. So,
I love the gang.
so the gang's all here. And you did get a technical question. Are you applying paint to the rough side of the leather or the slicker side?
I like to apply it to the slicker side of the leather. But I would imagine you could do either side. I mean, it would be just fine.
Thank you. And Mark, is there anything you can, if you could just show them the bottle of paint again? Someone didn't see it.
Okay, so
They know what to look for. Thank you.
okie dokie. Now there are all kinds of leather paints out there. This is just a company that I've used in the past, and you know, I think their paints are pretty good. I enjoy using them a lot. All right, let's add like a little bit more to darken it up. Now, if you're doing this along with me, you can take a hair dryer or a heat gun and dry them very, very quickly. If you just, you know, just go over the top a little bit. Don't get too close to the leather because the paint will bubble. So, all right. We've got these, and I have, you know, the magic of a live class, have already painted some. So these are already dry, just so you can kind of see what we have going on here. All right, and I'm going to move this out of the way so we have a clean surface to get into our next steps. Okie dokie. Here we go. Next thing we're going to do is with some sharp scissors, we're going to cut the barbs of the feather all the way down each side. And you want to take your time doing this because you want them to be about 1/8 of an inch wide. So I've got these super sharp scissors, and here we go. And we're going to go all the way, starting at the very top, all the way down to the bottom. And be careful that you don't cut past the center because you want to leave at least 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch of solid leather all down the center, which would be the shaft of the feather. And that's where we'll be applying the bead landing glass flatback rhinestones. So I'm just going to take our time and cut these barbs. Now, if you want a little bit of variation in how they look, you know, just like in a real feather, how you might see a little split or something like that, you could cut off a tiny, tiny bit of the leather. So there's a natural split in it, like you would see in a normal feather. Do you see that right there? Just to make it look maybe a little bit more realistic or feather-like. Now, this is the part I did not prepare. So we're going to sit and cut these together. It shouldn't take too long. And I like to do that little split up at the top too, just so you see that little light coming through. And we're going to go up the other side. I'm so used to making videos that that are about 3 minutes long. So as I'm doing this class, I'm feeling like, oh, this is longer than 3 minutes. This feels like it's taking forever. But, you know, that's how long it takes to make a project, I guess. It takes a while.
Mark, I can tell you Sharon just chimed in. We're here with you, Mark. We're patient.
I'm so glad. Thanks, Sharon. Oh, I just love the way it looks now. And this gives the leather a lot more movement when you're wearing it on your ear. And I really like these little cutouts. So if you can see where I did that in a couple of different places. All right, let's do the next one. You definitely want to be patient while you're doing this because you don't want to chop your earring in half and have to start over. You can see as we're cutting the barbs how flexible the leather is. I love that. Okay. We've done it. Here we go. And now, before we do anything, we want to punch a hole in the top here. And let's just do that to get it out of the way before we start gluing on the rhinestones, the flatbacks. So I'm just going to punch a hole right there. If you don't have one of these hole punches, get a very large safety pin and a piece of cardboard, and you can poke a hole in the leather, and that should work. All right, so you can see that hole right up there at the top. There's always an alternative. Okay, next step. This is my favorite part. We are going to start gluing on the bead landing glass flatback rhinestones. And I have chosen these two colors. This is Sapphire, and this one is Crystal. Now, there are also some other colors that I really, really like. This is, I forget what this one is. I think I wrote it on the back. Aquamarine also looks terrific with this color. And then you could use I think this is metallic silver. So bead landing has, I mean, so many different colors of rhinestones to choose from, but I'm going to go with the Sapphire and the Crystal. And we're going to just start gluing. Here we go. I've poured some out already. And we are using what is this? The bead landing. I forget what, Carmi, what is the name of this glue? I think I threw the packaging away when I was getting ready for the class.
Hey, Mark, you're actually using the official glue in their crystal department.
Okay.
And I have used it also. I have used it on all surfaces.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you'll see it. And of course, this could very easily turn into a gluing class, which we will not do today. But I know the first question we're going to get is, what other glues could you use if you didn't have this one? Felicia posted the Crystal Radiance glue pen in the sidebar. So that is easy for them to order. But would you recommend any other glues, Mark?
Yeah.
You know what's in the Michaels department.
Well, I've been using this super tight glue, which also has a precision tip on it as well. And I like it. And then Beacon has, what is it? Gem Tack, which is also very good. So there are some options out there.
Thank you.
So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to do about an inch. And then we're going to take a wax pencil and we're just going to start creating the shaft of and you want a very, very thin line, but you do want a decent amount of glue because, you know, earrings move around a lot and you don't want the gems to come off when you're wearing them. And we're just going to create a line of the Sapphire. Now this is size SS12, so it's very small and perfect for earrings and for this project. Now I love this little triangular tray that came with the glue because you can pour the rhinestones back into the bag very easily. I think it's kind of genius. Okay, now we're going to continue down the feather. Another inch or so. You just don't want the glue to dry before we get all our rhinestones on there. Now, I'm not sure if you can see this, but the glue's already starting to dry up here and it's clear. So you'll be fine if you see a little bit of the glue poking out. Don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to go down just a little bit further. Maybe another 3/8 of an inch or so. All right, so now we have our shaft, and let's go ahead and do this on the other one. I think the key with gluing these tiny little rhinestones is to just be patient, take your time, maybe, an inch or a little bit less at a time. Precision tip is always a good idea. If you can find a glue with one of these little pin tips on it, it just makes things so much neater. I know not all of you don't have one of these little plastic trays, but you can use just a regular lid from like a jar of vitamins. I use those all the time. It works just fine. And it's great. So when you be able to shake it around and get all the rhinestones face up. And it's easy to hold. So it's just makes everything really convenient. Instead of pouring them out on the table like I used to do.
Mark, I can ask you while you're doing the last bit. Are you new to applying flatbacks, or have you always used crystal flatbacks in your work?
Yes, because I used to make a lot of costumes and we used a lot of crystal flatbacks. There was a time when we'd use the metal settings, you know, with the prongs. But so, I mean, there's been so many advances in adhesives that I think that a lot of the glues are, you know, just better and they don't damage the fabrics like the prong settings do. You remember those, the Bedazzle It?
Yes, I have bedazzled. Danielle's shaking her head. Yes. Yes, I bedazzled many a thing using prong settings. You know, remember when you used to do the prong and it didn't catch the crystal? It was like a wasted.
It was so upsetting, but I was
Yeah.
that kid who, you know, when that commercial came on, I was, I don't know, 8 years old. I I think I got hives. I was so I was like, mom, like
I need
I
a
need
bedazzler.
this in my life. She was like, fine, fine. I think our kid might actually die if we don't get him these rhinestones. All right, now this is the fun part. We are going to take some more sapphire and the crystals and just dot them around the feather. Now you can add as many as you want or as few as you want. It's really, really up to you. Some people might like it more simple. You know, I'm going to embrace the inner drag queen in all of us and add a ton of sparkles on these earrings so that they really show up. I'm just going to start adding some dots of glue. Make sure your dot's not too small. And you can see the glue is already disappearing down the spine, or the shaft rather. Now I'm putting the sapphire at the tip of the feather or the bottom of the earring, and then we'll add the brighter crystals up toward the center. And now we're moving into the crystal. You can see how that just brightens up the center of the earring. Okay. Need maybe one more. What does everyone think? Maybe something on the outside here.
I think you have a universal go for it.
Okay, that's good to know. There's so many people that I hear from on social media every day, and I hope a couple of them showed up so I can, you know, say hello to them. I appreciate them all so much. I can't tell you. They really make my mornings so happy when I hear from basically my old friends, you know, because we've been doing this for a really long time.
Mark, I just want to tell you, one of our regulars, Marguerite, just said you can never have too much sparkle. And you definitely have some new people in the class today. So they're my first time meeting Mr. Montano. Glad to know you.
Oh, that makes me happy to hear. It really does. That's why we do this. Community. There's a lot of glue there, but that will dry clear. So you can see all the glue down the shaft here is pretty much dry and clear already. So if you get a little bit of extra glue, do not worry about it. Don't panic. It will disappear. I promise. And especially with these very small flatbacks, you want to make sure there's enough glue underneath because, you know, it's not a lot of surface that you're able to put the glue on. So it's okay if just a little bit comes out the side. It really is just fine. It's probably better. And definitely don't worry about making the earrings look exactly the same. Okay. How is everybody doing?
I think we're all good, Mark.
Okay.
You have some trading spaces friends here who know you from that. Someone did a great point. The earrings are sisters, not twins.
It's true. Okay, so we've got our earrings ready to go. And now we are going to add some 6mm Rondel crystals to some chain. But first we want to cut the chain. Now you can go short if you want. It's really up to you. I really love a long dangly chain. So I'm going to cut these the length of the feather. And I might vary the length just a little bit by maybe like, 3/8 of an inch or so. And just FYI, just so I know, and these earrings are about 4.25 inches long. So the chain is going to be about 4.25. And then maybe I'll do one just a little bit shorter. And of course, this is all just your preference. So whatever it is that you want. And I have chosen these sort of I don't know what these are. They look like a kind of like the metallic silver 6mm Rondel. I kind of love these. I'm going to take a head pin and just put it through this bead. Flip it about 3/8. Just move this out of the way so everyone can see. Everyone see that? And then we're taking our round nose pliers. We're going to create a loop. Now I'm using these bead landing, these bead landing head pins right here. Okay. Everyone see that? So we've got these ready to go, and we're going to take some very small jump rings. These are a little bit less than 1/4 inch. They're kind of tiny. Open that up. I'm going to have to put my work glasses on. 1 second. I'm switching out the glasses. Oh, much better. Slip that on. Then we're going to attach the chain. Well, we're going to try to attach the chain. There we go. Okay. Got that. I think maybe I want to cut this just a smidge shorter. All right, so we've got that one. We're going to make another one.
Mark, I wanted to let you know that your struggle to add the chain is what everyone loves to see. It gives them hope.
You know, usually I have a crazy amount of light on my desk. And sometimes a big magnifying glass, because, you know, we're working with such tiny components that it can be, oh, I don't know. Plus I wear glasses, so. I'm going to cut this one down just a little bit, so it's not exactly the same size. All right, there we go. All right. Now, I've already made another set of these just because I wanted to make sure that we had enough time. And these are a little bit longer, so I'm going to just trim, make sure these are about the same length. And like I said, nothing has to be perfect. No one will notice, and I think it makes things look better when they're not perfect. Take a couple of links off here. All right. Okay, it's time to put these together, and we are going to use the bead landing. These are the fish hook earring wires. And I like these earring wires. Sometimes I like to take off the spring. That's just my preference. I'm not going to do it today, but sometimes I just like to slip it off and then cut it a little bit shorter so that the wire is just a bit smaller. But that's just me. Now, we are going to take a bit of a bigger, not much bigger. This jump ring is a little bit bigger than the one we used for the crystal drop. So I'm going to make sure this has enough room so that it goes around the leather, the two chains, and the earring wire. So here we go. If you want to see struggle, it's about to happen. Okay, that's one. I did it. Now, just FYI, you can't see any of that glue anymore. So if you were worried about that, no need. Okay. Got our little jump ring and the two beads. And now we're going to put our earring wire in. Okay, here's a little trick. And my mom told me about this when she had earring wires like this. So that your earrings face forward, sometimes you want to bend the loop, which is flat. You can just bend it so that it's like that. And this way, whatever is hanging will hang straight forward on your ear. Does that make sense? Am I making? Let me see if I can show you.
Mark, it definitely makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. And there you go. And you can see, but just bending that the other direction, your earring will be straight forward instead of sideways on your head. And let's finish up the next one. The sister. The struggle is real. Okay, there we go. All right, everyone. There you go. I would wear these for you, but I don't have pierced ears, so. How's that? Can everyone see that?
Yes, sidebar is a wowza, Mark. They're gorgeous. I
Well,
can hardly believe you did it in less than an hour.
I can't either, because I did do a little practice run and it did take me a little bit over an hour with all the painting and everything. So I decided to just paint, paint them first. But
So a good question was, how long would you usually let the paint dry, air dry?
oh, I'd say a good 15 minutes. You'd be fine to start working on it. But it is fine to hit it with a hair dryer and, get it going. Here, I'll pair up.
Thank you, Mark. Everyone was anxious for a close-up.
There you go. Now, I think this would look really great on a chain as a pendant, on a silver chain. So you could do a whole set if you wanted to. Or 3 of them hanging on a necklace somehow, if you skip it and did something like that.
Yeah, Susie's noticing that she's surprised that they still are as supple after the painting.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I love about these earrings is they do have a lot of movement. And I like jewelry that has movement, that catches the light. And it's one of the reasons I love these little flatback rhinestones. So they really do catch the light. They light up your face, and these little 6mm rondels, they're just big enough but not obnoxious. And they dangle and they move around. And I just think these earrings are just really fun. I can see, wearing them in the summer with a big, colorful, swimming caftan, by the beach or something like that. I think they're just super fun. Or to like a, Western hoedown. Who knows?
We're smiling with you, Mark. We agree. So, Mark, you did brilliant on timing. And again, many congratulations from us. And thank you for doing the class. If Felicia, if you just want to put the camera back on Mark so he has an opportunity to say goodbye to everyone. I'm watching the sidebar. You're getting thank you. Beautiful. Thanks for a great class. Thank you for the class. So we're definitely seeing the comments. I don't know if you can see them on your computer.
I can't.
So I'll just tell you, yes, it was a fabulous class. Thank you, Mark. I'm trying to tell everyone, where's the best place to find you after this class?
Well, I think Instagram is probably the best place because I do get back to everyone on Instagram, and I am at the Mark Montano.
Perfect.
And anybody who follows me today, I will follow right back. Just FYI. And I love chatting with people on Instagram because it's on your phone and it's easy and you get to, send emojis and there's lots of love and, everybody's so creative. Instagram is really, really fun. And of course, I'm Facebook too. So you can just find me, Mark Montano on Facebook, Mark Montano NYC or Mark Montano LA. Either of those, I'm on every single day posting new projects. And I do get back to everyone. So part of the reason that I love the internet and social media is the connection that I get to make with people and sharing ideas and helping them with their projects. It is my favorite thing to do. It is my passion. And so please reach out if you have any questions or you need some help with something. I'm happy to help you always.
Thank you, Mark. There are lots of appreciative comments in the sidebar. And clearly someone who knows you, Maria, is a shout out. She just loves you.
Oh, hey, Maria.
Thank you for being a great teacher. And I think this is a great way for us to sign off.
All right. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend.